A couple of weeks ago, I released a video with some criticism about Marvel Snap and some criticism of the Season Pass. I claimed that the Season Pass cards have been too powerful and that MODOK is also too powerful. And obviously, that was wrong. And so I want to start this video by apologizing. I've addressed this in the community tab, I've addressed this in the pinned comments, and I'm going to address it again now. I was wrong. I hold my hands up and I admit that. There was a lot of call for me to remove the video entirely, and that I do want to refute because I said this in the comments, and I said this in the community tab, and I'll say it again now, I would rather be a content creator who makes mistakes and holds my hand up to them and say, hey, I made a mistake. I'm not perfect. I'm sorry. I try my best. I try my best to get stuff right. I try my best to make cool videos. This video that I released a couple weeks ago was not a cool video, but I also think it's a good humbling experience. I think it's good for me to have failures that I can look at and be like, yep, better learn from that. Better not do that again. I had comments calling the video toxic. I had all sorts of pretty mean things, actually. Someone asserted the claim that the only reason I haven't deleted it is because it's making money when, really? Really? Do people genuinely think that that's going to be a motive for me to keep the video up? Come on now. At the same time, this is now the future. I have taken a couple weeks off of content and I have taken a step back and thought about things a lot, and I'm actually not super happy with the state of Marvel Snap at the moment, and I'm hoping to levy some more legitimate criticisms in this video, which you guys can get behind. And I want you to know this doesn't come from any place of maliciousness. It comes from a place of genuine concern for the game, because there's a pretty stark problem with Marvel Snap, and it's hard to avoid looking at it at this point. And I'm not even talking about card acquisition, although that is it to a point. The problem with Marvel Snap is the meta, and actually, and ironically, this would be less of a problem if MODOK was completely busted. If we take a little look at Marvel Snap Zone, where they have their regular tier list, this one, granted, was updated almost a week ago, but Tier 1, Shuri 0, Tier 1, Zabu Control, Tier 1, Zabu Darkhawk, Tier 1, Lockjaw on Reveal. Oh, that's different. Okay, cool, yeah, that's kind of different, I guess. I mean, it is an old deck, it's been around for a while, but it's cooler to see that this is Tier 1. Tier 2, Galactus. Tier 2, Zabu, Mr. Negative. Tier 2, Deathwave. Tier 2, Patriot. The meta doesn't change in Marvel Snap. And I found myself, while I've been taking my break from content creation over the last couple of weeks, playing Marvel Snap, just playing a small amount, getting my missions done. On that note, I think I've missed one mission ever since I started playing. Like, is that a problem or is that real dedication? I don't know. But I found myself just sort of mindlessly playing the most recent deck I'd played, which actually happens to have been a Shuri 0 deck. I played that. I was playing that a lot at the end of last season. It's still good now. Yeah, and my version's actually pretty different from the one that's here in Marvel Snap Zone's Tier 1 deck guide. I don't run She-Hulk. I don't run Sauron because I don't own the card. Look, the problem is Marvel Snap is releasing a card a week, right? No matter what the card is that comes out next week, Shuri into Red Skull into Arnim Zola is still going to be absolutely busted. The only way that Shuri into Red Skull into Arnim Zola is not going to be absolutely busted is if Shuri gets nerfed, and the only way that you nerf Shuri is by completely destroying her, probably having to make her a 5-cost card or something. Make Shuri a 5-cost card, then turn 6 you can play a big thing, but then you can't follow up with anything. That would stop Shuri, big thing Taskmaster, Shuri, big thing Arnim Zola. It would destroy Shuri, but then what would happen next? The Zabu decks would get even better. Maybe Deathwave would come back. Look, when we had the Season 4 and Season 5 card drop at the end of last year, that was really exciting. And to me, that felt like, yeah, okay, this game's going to be varied. We got a big dump of cards. The game's going to change completely. But the problem is, firstly, barely anyone can access any of those cards. So it was cool for me, you know, I got Helicarrier day one, like, oh, cool, I'll make a Helicarrier deck. That was fun. But like, things fall into place, and we do end up with this solved meta. And now we're sort of just stuck in it forever until second inner nerf cards. But as we've seen from the last few card nerfs, they don't do enough. Zabu is still a problem. Even nerfing more cards isn't going to like shake up the whole meta. The only way the meta gets completely shook up is if like a lot of cards change. A lot of the bad cards need to be buffed. You know, wouldn't it be cool if Electro was playable? Wouldn't it be cool if Quake had more power and suddenly people were moving the locations around? That would be great. But ultimately, I think Marvel Snap's facing a pretty serious problem right now where the meta is getting really stale. I am so bored of playing Shuri into a big thing. But like, I just don't see realistically how that changes. And if the miracle does happen and second inner does nerf Shuri, I'm going to be so bored of playing Zabu and Darkhawk. And then I'm going to be bored of playing Galactus. You know, like, because these decks, they've been good for months now. Maybe not so much the Zabu. Zabu it's only been around for just over a month, but like it feels like such a long time where one card has dominated everything. And I feel that the reason that Marvel Snap is having this problem is because of how it differs from the conventional card game format. Whereas initially I was excited by the idea of one new card a week, the problem is one new card coming out next week is not going to be enough to change the meta. Unless it's as powerful as Zabu, in which case it will change the meta too much and then the meta is going to get stuck where everyone's playing that one card. When a Hearthstone expansion comes out, over 100 new cards are released and some people are trying the new Priest cards, some people are trying the new Druid cards, some people are trying the new Rogue cards. The entire game changes and it feels completely different for at least a month, maybe two, and then maybe by the third month it stales a little bit, but then boom, month 4 and there's a new expansion and everything changes again. Marvel Snap isn't built like that. It's not supposed to be built like that. That is not the model. I was thinking that that's fine until something really sad happened. I realized that I'm bored of the game. You know, I've been playing it for, I guess, almost a year now, so it makes sense that you get bored eventually, but I never got bored when I was unlocking maybe 2 new cards a week as I was grinding through Series 3, and the way that I played the game was changed up all the time. But now I unlock maybe a card a month, maybe 2, and most of the time that card is not going to be enough to change how I play the game. I'm just bored. Now, this video comes from a place of love. I love Marvel Snap. I've loved the last year of playing it, and I want to keep playing it, and I want to keep being enthused by it, and I want to keep being inspired to make more content. And hey, battle mode coming out is amazing. The tournaments that have been happening recently have been amazing. I've been casting some of them. That's been great. I really hope to do more of that. Kawatek's tournament in New York was fantastic. They knocked it out of the park and it was awesome to watch. I was probably wrong about competitive Marvel Snap too. It really seems like it's got potential. But as a player, as a content creator, as someone grinding the game every single day, as someone that's been playing for almost a year, I want to see some change. If Marvel Snap are going to stick to this model of releasing 1 card a week forever, they need to do something else to change up the game, whether it's more frequent balance changes, more drastic balance changes, or a new game mode, a draft mode or something equivalent to Marvel Snap's version of Hearthstone's Arena could be really cool. An in-game ladder where you can use the battle mode 10 cube best out of 3 style of playing to ladder up in like a more competitive mode. That could be cool. But right now, for me personally, I feel like the game needs something just to inject that little bit more life into it. Do you agree? Maybe you don't. Maybe it is just me, and maybe I do need to just take a step back, try and play a little bit less, just do my missions and take a break until I'm more keen to get back into it into a big way. Or maybe you feel the same way that I do and hope the second dinner just do something, just a little bit of spice, just spice it up a little bit. I love this game. I want to play it for a long time. I want to love it for a long time. And at the moment, I'm just concerned. Thanks for watching. I hope that you don't think that the criticisms today have been too unfair. I've actually got some really cool stuff planned over the next few days. I'm launching a new series, and also at some point, not soon, but at some point I'll be releasing my video about the content creators that I worked with recently and all of their favorite variants. That should be really fun. And I'm going to make sure that one's particularly high quality. Oh, and also tiny little bit of housekeeping. You may have noticed I've stopped uploading shorts. Shorts have been sucking for me personally. To be transparent, viewership has been going down at an alarming rate. This coincided with when shorts became monetized, and to be transparent, shorts aren't really monetized. If I get like 15k views on a short, I'm making like 20 cents. It's not what I was expecting. It's much worse than I was expecting. It's disappointing and it's disheartening. And I would rather take content that I would have been putting into shorts now and try and work out a fun way of turning them into regular videos. So the type of content on this channel is going to be changing a little bit. I hope that you're into that. As always, thoughts, advice, feedback, all welcome below. Thanks very much for the Patreons. I really, really appreciate you guys, and I couldn't make the content without you. This YouTube channel doesn't make any money at the moment. Certainly nowhere near enough for me to consider living off of. Every single Patreon supporter helps that dream become a reality, so thank you. I'll see you again soon.